All right, go ahead.
Well, we had this dog. Her name was Fanny, and she's a rat terrier. And we thought the world of Fanny, but sometimes they'd tear down an old building or something, and then when they were tearing up the floor, rats are running everywhere, and she'd get them. She'd get every one of them. Boy, she'd get them and shake them and kill them. So she was well named. She was a rat terrier.
And then talk about your farm.
And then my dad had 10 acres on the edge of Brookings, and he used to raise, sometimes he raised potatoes. I suppose he always raised potatoes. But I remember him raising alfalfa, and my grandfather, he had a team of horses, and he'd come over with the horses and the wagon, and we'd haul in the hay. And when we'd get a load of hay, and we'd be up on top, my grandpa and me, and he'd let me take the reins and steer the horses to bring in.
How old were you?
And I was probably about 5, 6.
And where was this?
And this was in Brookings,
Mm-hmm.
on the east side of town. And now their hospital, big new hospital, was built on this property.
Mm-hmm.
So all that has changed. You can't even recognize the place. But just down the street a little ways was a park, and they had swings and teeter-totters and all that stuff. And that park is still there. So when me and Roberta were there, and we stayed in a motel near there in Brookings, and I walked over there and walked all around the park, just remembered all the fun us kids used to have down there. And on one side of the park was a main road that went from Brookings over to Minnesota, going east. And they paved that road, and it was a gravel road, and just about all the roads in those days, they were all gravel, but they decided they were going to pave that road, so that was a big deal.
When was that?
All us kids and everybody, we were down there watching them paving the road.
When was this, Dad?
Well, that was in, let's see, that was probably when I was about 5 years old.
1930 then.
So about 1930.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.